plan for this video was to share my experience with, but it came to be just as much about my thoughts on running shoes. I have made a short video about my thoughts regarding Vomero Premium, which you can just watch if you don't want to watch the whole video.
Det er nok nogle af de dårligste sko til at løbe hurtigt, det kan jeg love dig for. Du skal sådan hen til det. Jeg gør det ikke mere nu.
What I just said in Danish was that these are the worst shoes I've ever run fast in. Some people will probably think, why are you running fast in a recovery shoe? That's not what it's made for. That's absolutely true. But if I don't do it, I won't know how it feels. And to be completely honest, I don't care what the shoe is made for. Here are my all-time favorite recovery shoe. I don't really like the word recovery runs. Even though I use it myself, I just always find it difficult to understand what people mean when they say recovery runs, because it's so individual. Instead of using the word recovery, I think it's more relevant to tell how fast we actually run when we run a recovery run. It gives a better insight into how the shoe works, although of course it is always individual. My average recovery runs are around 11 to 12 kilometers per hour. Here you can see a run in the forest. There will be more about the shoe I run in later in the video. And here you can see one of my data from my favorite shoe in 2025. My opinion on it is that it is a shoe that can be used for everything. And let's try to get back to what the video was originally supposed to be about. Here you can see the data from 2 kilometers in Vomero Premium. After just 10 minutes, my average heart rate is higher than after an hour in Prime X3. And the reason for that is that the shoe feels heavy and bulky to me. I know others have different opinions, but I can only share what I experience. I don't feel like it gives me any energy back either. As you can also see in this little video I found on Instagram. I don't know how reliable the test is, but this is exactly how I feel. And no matter what shoe I test them against, the Vomero Premium is the shoe I have the highest heart rate in, which is not good for me because of my brain injury. Fortunately, there are probably very few runners who have the same problem with their head as I do, but one rule I have if I want to run calmly and quietly is to keep my average heart rate around 120 or lower. And the Vomero Premium is not the right shoe for this purpose, at least not for me. On paper, this was the perfect shoe for me and one I was really looking forward to. But in reality, it is the most disappointing shoe in a very long time. I have great respect for others who have a different opinion, but those who say that this shoe gives energy back, I simply don't understand it, no matter what surface I run on. Maybe I'm just not a good enough runner to feel it. There is no doubt that it takes some of the impact from things like the hips and knees. But if I feel I need extra protection, I choose to use the other treadmill we have in my gym, which is much softer. Or even better, run outside on various soft surfaces. In one of my absolute favorite running shoes, the shoe that is always in my car because it can be used everywhere. It never lets me down. And I actually think it's pretty fast too, although many people probably don't think so. And I still mean everything I say in this little shorts video I made about the New Balance More Trail V3 a while ago. This is not a review. I just want to say if you haven't tried this shoe, you've missed something. In my opinion, it is the most versatile shoe for slow runs. It works well everywhere for me. What is he talking about? It's a trail shoe, you might be thinking. That is also true, but I don't care if it was a moon shoe. None of my other shoes can beat them at 11 to 12 kilometers per hour on mixed terrain. And when I say that, it's not just a feeling I have, I can actually document it from the data on my heart rate. This run is on mixed terrain, after a hard interval workout. I'm just going to pause my little video here to say, your heart rate data can vary a lot from day to day, so you should always take it with a grain of salt. But all my heart rate data is measured with a chest strap. That's the only one I trust. This trip is entirely in the forest. In fact, the footage you see now is from that run. Again, I can only say I don't have another shoe I can run at this speed with such a low heart rate in the forest. And one thing that is just as important, it is probably the most protective trail shoe there is. It's really just a good shoe and actually my favorite recovery shoe right now. Everything I say in this video is just my honest thoughts. It's totally fair if some of you experience the opposite. All I can say is that you can watch lots of these videos, but the only way you really find out how the shoes work is to run in them yourself.